So I went to Elimination Chamber. That was insane. That ending to the whole thing with The Rock and John Cena. You got Travis Scott too and whatever he's doing in there. Man, that was probably the biggest shocker that WWE could give us this year. It felt like it was on par with last year with The Rock and Cody and their backstage segment and the rain and all of that and the belt, the weight belt. It was that level for me. Being there live was just outstanding from top to bottom. A lot of the matches did really deliver, and I think delivered for the live crowd. But we're going to talk about Cena, the heel turn, all of that. Let's get into all of the matches here, starting off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. But if you guys enjoy videos like this, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the like button. It goes a long way. We're trying to get to 50k subs by WrestleMania 41. The Elimination Chamber for the women, starting it off with Naomi and Liv Morgan in the chamber, and you immediately had Jade Cargill come in. I thought it was an awesome move. I fully anticipated Jade to come out during the chamber, but I love that they did it at the beginning and took Naomi out right away. Also, a little bit of a contrast within just even their characters, how they look. They had Bianca and Naomi draped in white, and then you had Jade coming out in black, a little bit of the light in the darkness and reverse rolling kind of thing. It was kind of fun. But Jade coming out, beating the absolute tar out of Naomi was awesome. The crowd popped huge for Jade coming out. I think it was a great surprise. The women's chamber match, I thought it ebbed and flowed. While there was I thought they went on a little long, but I did feel like the crowd was really into it. And the ending sequence was excellent. Now you do have Bianca Belair going up against either Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, maybe even a triple threat. What do you think? I'm recording this before Monday Night Raw, so we'll find out if it's going to be a straight one-on-one match. I will have no qualms with a one-on-one match. I honestly think that if it was a triple threat at Mania or 1v1, I think Bianca does pick up the title, because the thing is within the chamber, and Bianca's reactions to all this when Jade was beating down Naomi, I thought was excellent. I thought it was really well done. She gave the reaction she should have, but in no way does she indicate that she knew or didn't know Naomi did the attack on Jade. She was crying because she wanted Jade to stop. So it leads me to speculate and wonder, Bianca was in on it and Naomi's the one who fully did it, but maybe Bianca is a part of it as well. Because what I could see them doing is Jade versus Naomi at WrestleMania. Bianca picks up the world title at WrestleMania, and then you can now have Jade versus Bianca for a title, maybe even at SummerSlam. But a lot of great sequences. I thought even Bianca doing the splash off the top of the pod was excellent, and the women just really delivered. There's a lot of good spots in there. And then you had Tiffy time. Tiffy, Trish versus Nia, Candice. This, I mean, so the crowd liked the fact that we got Trish from Toronto, big pop for Trish, and Tiffany Stratton. This didn't feel like it needed to be on the card. I think they could have done something different. I understand you wanted to get Trish Stratus on the card. It's a great moment for her. You're in the Rogers Center, which is the big dome. I don't know what they touted it at. It's like 30,000 people. For perspective as well, everybody. So in the Rogers Center, the Sky Dome, the way they set it up, the whole outfield was like taken off. Like it was all tarped off. They didn't use the outfield at all. They had that for all the staging stuff. So you had about half the dome being used by fans, and that was covered. It was still full. And the crowd was like into everything. It was really cool just to see that many people. And I think it was over 30,000 is what they threw up there on the screen. But it was really neat to see and look around and see that many people in Toronto. It was something really special to see, especially when they were really into the matches and the moments. This tag team match though, for me, I didn't need this. Like they could have done something else. I really would have wished they did the qualifying matches on SmackDown for the United States Championship. Man, I wish they did like the finals for the US title on the pay-per-view, and they did it at the PLE for Chamber. I think if you had like LA Knight in the Elimination Chamber match itself, or just on the card going for the US title, I think that would have gotten over a lot more. This match didn't feel necessary. This could have been on SmackDown and then put US title on the actual PLE. You could have put the Intercontinental title on there. Something else I felt like could have been in this spot. It just wasn't. I was like, it was good. It was fun. But it was exactly what I expected. Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, they pick up the win. They get the hometown pop, all that, and it's a lot of fun. No Charlotte. Maybe that's what it could have used, honestly, was and maybe they didn't want to do that because you get too many people coming out and interrupting and all that throughout the night. But it could have used Charlotte coming out. You give Trish and Tiffany the big win in Toronto, and then to give more heel heat to Charlotte, maybe you should have had her come out and throw out Tiffany Stratton and then just like decimate Trish Stratus in her hometown. That would have gotten huge heat on Charlotte. and then you can get Tiffany to get the ultimate save. Good match, just wasn't my favorite. The match order 2 for the whole night, I was sitting there, I went with my wife. She actually had a really good time. She popped for Randy Orton. She doesn't even know who Randy Orton is, but she knew that that was a big deal and she really liked it. And she goes, oh, now I get it. So I was very tickled by all of it. But I was thinking about the match order of the night. I was wondering how they would do it. Would they open with The Rock and Cody? Would they put it before the men's chamber, after the men's chamber? I thought it was going to be interesting how they lined everything up. But the next match on the card was going to be the unsanctioned match, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. This delivered. The only thing I wish this did, I wish it had blood, just to be able to take it just up one more notch. But this thing, I love that they dimmed the lights. You had only like the spotlight for these two, focusing on them as they went around the arena. I love, there was a whole section of fans, thousands of them, that there was a wave of cheers and just the crowd saying over here, like telling them to come over there into the stands. They pulled out all the chairs, hockey stick, the double stack tables. They did so much. They made it look vicious. The barbed wire chair was an awesome spot. Even when Sami Zayn put Kevin Owens through to the tables, like out in by the stands and all that, the crowd was into the entire thing, beginning to end. I thought it was well executed, well done. My only bit of it is, like I said, I wish that they were bleeding. I think that would have done a little bit more. I wonder if they didn't go in the direction of having blood because of the main event segment with Cody and how brutal that was going to get. I wonder if they didn't want to overdo it, but that would be my only knock about this thing. I think it was an amazing blow off for them. I love that Kevin Owens at the very end was ripping up the floor and he was going to put him through it. And then boom, you got Randy Orton. He comes out and he just dishes out RKOs. Awesome. Randy coming out got probably the biggest, next to like the Rock's entrance. I think Randy's pop was the biggest. It really was. It was tremendous to hear him out there. Giant RKO. Randy clearly going for the punt. The fans wanted it, and the stupid security got in the way, and then whoop-pow, then they all got RKO'd. It was a great moment just to have Randy get that, and clearly we are going to get Randy versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I think they do write Sammy off a little bit. Maybe they will just have him come out on Raw and talk about how this is the end, because he didn't get a package pile driver. I thought maybe they would have done that, where he did hit him out on the ringside and put him through with a package pile driver. But since Sammy is very much alive and he's selling the neck the entire match, which was great, I think now you can move Sammy into something else. My suggestion or theory was going to be that he goes up against like Karrion Kross, and Kross has just been kind of picking at Sammy for a long time. They have enough time if they want to do that. They could set up a triple threat between Sammy, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton, but I think the match they want to do is Randy getting his revenge on Kevin Owens. Owens picking up the victory as well is interesting. He actually got the victory, and it was only Randy that stopped him at the very end. So I think that you're going to get Kevin Owens to lose at WrestleMania. Randy is going to be able to hit that punt kick, and he's going to save that thing for the whole lead up, and that'll be part of the story going into Mania, is like Randy not being able to fully get his hands on Kevin Owens. What kind of match they do, I think that'll be interesting. Do they do a no holds barred? Do they do a Hell in a Cell to really finish this thing off? You know what you could do? Just thinking it now. You could have Sami Zayn be special guest referee and do that. But the unsanctioned match, being there live, that was awesome. Awesome atmosphere for that. And I think they used everything very well. Also, just because last note on this is that I think having it with the spotlight, they dimmed it down, it made it feel grittier. And everything was kind of heightened and highlighted a lot more. Then we have the men's elimination chamber match. Logan Paul is not a favorite, and he leaned into that by coming out to the ring and then going back and grabbing the American flag. Yeah, so he got booed heavy, even the FU Logan chants during the chamber match. When he wasn't even in, he was still in his pod. So Canada was not a big fan of Logan Paul. The men's chamber match, I felt like it really did deliver. I thought everybody did well, and I thought the crowd was kind of thrown back a little bit when Drew got eliminated by Damian Priest. Drew sold that very well, just in that it was his moment. He realized he's not going to WrestleMania. You could kind of feel the weight of it, and he hits Priest with a Claymore at the end. I guess like that can set up their match for WrestleMania if they want to go in that direction. Drew can just be taking his anger out on Priest. You eliminated me. Maybe they could all get wrapped up in the US title scene or something bigger. I just want something big for Drew. The moments of Punk and Cena face to face doing the face offs, you still had like Seth Rollins in the ring too. Those were really amazing moments for a guy like me growing up watching Cena, watching Punk, you know, 2011, 2012, all that stuff, when you had Punk kind of getting to his peak and John Cena was the guy, and seeing all of that on TV and then finally being there and being able to see these two guys stand face to face in the ring, it was something really special. The crowd popped huge for John Cena coming out. Like, fan favorite, bar none. I love the finishing sequence too, where you have Seth trying to go to the top rope and then John tries to get him. It turns into a GTS from Punk, then into the attitude adjustment, and Punk pins Seth. Thought that was an excellent way to get Seth Rollins out of the match. The finish though of Cena and Punk and Seth, I thought it was really, really well done. The stomp was out of nowhere. Being in the crowd, I didn't even see Seth Rollins there, and you had CM Punk tied up in the ropes, and then you got a nasty stomp. Seth cuts off Punk in his road to WrestleMania, and then Cena giving you that real desperation, just pulling Punk right back into the middle of the ring, hits a submission, and Punk is done. They call for the bell. John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. He's going to WrestleMania to fight Cody Rhodes. This, I guess they are going to do this, where it's going to be Punk and Seth and Roman. I guess that is going to be the triple threat match that they're going to do. We still have the outstanding bit of the favor from Paul Heyman. How are they going to do that? But very clearly, you are still going to go down the path of Seth and Punk and Roman. I guess I just feel like that should be with a title, but you're kind of just doing this big match with three giant stars that don't like each other. They all have beef with each other. It's going to be fun. I just wonder how that story is going to unfold as we go to WrestleMania. Now, what was really great was how they executed this, where Cena's in the ring celebrating that he won the chamber, and Cody's music hits. He comes out, celebrates with John Cena. We're going to have that match at WrestleMania. Then The Rock's music hits, and he's got Travis Scott with him. Travis Scott, I felt, was just silly, like, placement in this whole thing, by the way. I appreciate Travis Scott. I got no qualms. I got no issues. I just thought, for what the segment was, and when you look back in history, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's a huge moment of John Cena turning heel, and people are going to watch this footage back in 10 years, 15 years, and they're going to be like, who's that guy? It's good. It's one of those things where I'm like, why is Travis Scott so involved in this whole segment? It made no sense. But anyways, put him aside. Crowd pops huge for Cody. They popped huge for Final Boss. You get them in the ring. Clearly, Cody is not going to do this. He is for the people. Everyone kind of saw that coming. I love that he told The Rock to go F himself. That came out crystal clear. Loved it. That was a huge pop from everybody.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
And being in the stadium, the camera work was perfect because you did have Cena and Cody hugging, and then you had the look of John Cena over the shoulder to The Rock as The Rock slits the throat. They captured it perfectly in that moment to get John Cena's face just change. And then you had the low blow, and off we go. John Cena turned heel and turned on Cody Rhodes, and he aligned with the Final Boss. This is where, like I said at the beginning, this felt to me the right way they should have done this moment in this segment. I think the initial setup of Cody and The Rock on SmackDown with the I want your soul and he's kissing and schmoozing him and being weird, and it went on for like 20 minutes. I don't think that helped. I know The Rock said in the press conference afterwards that like, oh, the Final Boss kind of does whatever he wants. That's what's great about it. And he's like, we don't have to be just the, traditional bad guy. But here in the chamber spot in that moment, from his entrance all the way through, you felt like he was Final Boss in character, and it translated very, very well. You didn't have jokey TKO Rock and then he flipped into Final Boss into the character. This was executed so well, and it did remind me, as I said, of Cody Rock's segment last year of WrestleMania, where they were out by the bus in the rain and everything. And that was, to me, like one of the peak moments of that whole story. This is one of those. And I think they knew that, honestly, and I feel like they knew that they wanted to take elements of this and go, okay, what worked? Well, what worked last year was Cody getting beaten down and being hit with the weight belt, and Rock did a lot of the same things. Got all bloody, he wiped all the blood on the belt, he whipped him a bunch. Now you have the added element of John Cena. I think we need to take a step back too and understand this. So number one, so I'm in the crowd and I gasped because I didn't see it coming, because you had, even as Cody told The Rock to go F himself, Cena's still cheering in the background. It wasn't until the hug that it all transformed and then everything went off. I genuinely gasped. I was actually surprised sitting there that Cena did it. I got to see it for myself. It's Hogan's turn. Like, it's it's kind of, for today's modern wrestling fan, it's that level where Hogan turned on everybody in WCW and formed the NWO when he turned bad guy. We never thought we would get John Cena as a heel for his majority of his career. If you are somebody that grew up watching John Cena, in your eyes, he may have always just been Super Cena, good guy John Cena. Yes, we had Dr. Thugonomics, we had heel Cena when he started. I was there, like I lived through all of that in Attitude Era. So I've seen John Cena's career from Prototype, the Kurt Angle match, all the way through Dr. Thugonomics, his transitions to all of that, and then becoming the John Cena character, the larger than life superhero, and the guy who was essentially, he was never heel, he was squeaky clean good guy. It was something for like whatever it was, 10, 15 years that fans always asked about was, well, will John Cena turn heel? Will he get this next belt and become a bad guy? Or, though there's an opportunity for him to turn heel, it never ever happened. Everybody would always say there is zero chance John Cena will ever turn heel for his career. It just won't happen. And they did it. It's a huge historical moment, because now we get this really interesting story for John Cena's final run. He's a bad guy, but he's gonna be a bad guy with layers, and he's gonna justify it. His whole thing was putting himself in the Rumble. He has to win it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it by any means necessary, and he did. It's a great balance too, because The Rock isn't going to wrestle, but you do have John Cena and got the championship. You gotta think, like, crowd was cheering too, by the way, for John Cena doing all of this. Like, they were on both sides, like they were just shocked. Everyone was kind of shocked by all of this, but there was a lot of cheering for Cena because you were seeing the heel turn happen. I think it was excellent in execution. Like Bret Hart, I thought it delivered perfectly. I thought The Rock did an excellent job with it. I thought Cody did great. He was eating the punches with the Rolex, with the watch itself getting busted open. It was probably as vicious as it needed to be, and to really set in stone that this is John Cena turning heel, aligning with The Rock. There's no ambiguity. It was such a really well done moment. And the biggest thing for me is that it leaves you wondering what's gonna happen next. Now this road to WrestleMania for Cena and Cody isn't just about two squeaky clean baby faces. But what's interesting too, and I was talking to other people about this, I think that there is going to be a large section of fans that will cheer John Cena and not Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania and even at WrestleMania. And it depends on how Cena's character is delivered in all of this. Is he going to just be this menacing, evil heel siding with The Rock, and he's below The Rock, he's doing everything for him to get the championship? How will Cena be presented? Will he talk, act differently? What will his character shift into? It's done well. The crowd might just be cheering for it because it's cool, because they like Cena and they're finally getting John Cena as a bad guy. Will he change his theme music at all? The Rock has had that with Final Boss. Maybe you get a remix of John Cena's theme song. And then the ultimate question of, would he win at WrestleMania? And for me, I think he needs to. It goes on this run, this final run. The other thing too is that, like, John acts as, almost in the storyline, acts as a proxy for The Rock. The Rock isn't wrestling and he's not getting the belt. He didn't get the belt off Roman and Cody and all of that. But now they have an opportunity where they can get the belt with the final boss. Cena's in his last year. He's going to be on pay-per-views. He's going to be at the shows on Raw and SmackDown, several of them obviously for huge chunks up until December. You can put the belt on Cena and he can defend it ever so often. Cody doesn't defend it every single night in every single PLE. John Cena can do the exact same thing, but he can be that proxy for the final boss. And I think it could work very, very well. You give John Cena almost acting as like this bigger, even stronger character where he is almost unbeatable, and he's got the help of The Rock. I can't wait to see what happens next. That is one of the best parts about wrestling. Guys, what did you think of Elimination Chamber? Comment below, subscribe, hit a like, all that good stuff. Have a great day. See ya.